Hello everyone and welcome back to Chronos Plays Phoenix Wright Trials and Tribulations. Today, I think we need to present this. Oh, music stop, baby. The body of Elise Dunham was carried all the way to Hazakura Temple's courtyard. Then at the garden, the real scene of the crime, the snow that we suspect was covered up in blood was scooped up and removed. It's reasonable to believe that all this was done in an attempt to hide the true crime scene. However, there's still one matter that seems somewhat odd. Oh? And what would that be? You must have figured it out by now, Mr. Godot. It's the message written in blood on the lantern. It was written very clearly on the white stone lantern. Maya. This kind of like a raw. Like a row. Yeah, I think I already made that joke. A roo. Ah. The killer was so motivated to protect Maya from suspicion. Then why didn't they wipe off the lettering? Wipe the writing off the lantern. You're right. I know I'm right. I'm always right. Order. But why? But why, Mr. Wright? Why are you always right? Isn't it? That's my last name. That's why. Isn't it the fact that the killer was trying to? Isn't it a fact that the killer was trying to cover up the crime scene? Indeed, but it doesn't make much sense to move the body and remove the bloody snow, then not wipe off the most incriminating thing of all, the bloody writing. But if that's the case, do you have an exact explanation for the killer's mysterious behavior? Why would this killer move the body and remove all that snow, but then leave the bloody writing on the lantern? I don't know what the killer's plan was, but it's a fact that the killer left the writing on the lantern. There must be a reason for it, because he can't see red. Well then, Mr. Wright, let's hear your opinion. Why did the killer leave the message written in blood on the lantern? The killer didn't notice it. And Prosecutor Godot, earlier in this trial, you gave me some good advice. Once you eliminate the impossible, whatever remains must be the truth. Maybe you're not as dumb as I thought. The real killer wanted to disguise the fact that a crime had occurred here. If that's the case, they wouldn't have left the bloody writing on the stone lantern on purpose. Therefore, it must mean that they didn't notice it. But that doesn't make any sense! The torch was all lit and everything. There's no way any normal person would miss something as glaring as that. Wow. Way to be ableist, Maya. You're right. There's no way any normal person would. What? Okay, he has an advisor on. He doesn't mean he's not like, okay, he's a little weird. He's abnormal in the fact that he drinks like 20 gallons of coffee a day. But because he has eyesight problems doesn't mean he's not normal. Ugh. Anyways, what are you trying to say, Mr. Wright? There's only one person involved in this incident who could have missed something, seeing the bloody writing altogether. And who would that be? Who's... You really gonna make me... Okay. Mr. Godot, this is what you said yesterday. My eyesight is pretty messed up. Even with these huge goggles on my head, I still can't see everything. You can't see everything? Is that correct, Mr. Godot? This lantern was submitted as evidence today. I would like the court to think back to the moment it was first presented. This lantern, there's something written on it. Why, it's written in blood. Huh, nonsense. This lantern is as clean as a whistle. Mr. Godot, just admit it. There are certain colors you can't see, correct? I'm assuming it's red due to the red lights you see through? You can't see red on a white background, can you? That's right. We went through this once before, during the poisoning case of Trebian. This apron is the apron the most this is the apron that the life of Miss Bird was wearing at the time, and somehow spilled coffee on it. There's something still bothering me, Miss Godot. Why have you not explained the bloodstain to the court? Bloodstain? What bloodstain would that be? Don't play games, prosecutor. The blood-colored stain that's smeared all over the apron. That's ridiculous. No one told me anything about a bloodstain. You can see the coffee on the white apron, but you couldn't see the ketchup because it was red. It's strange. In black and white photo, those letterings would have appeared black to me. I wonder, why am I the only one that can't see them? So then, Mr. Godot, are you admitting it? Are you admitting that you cannot see the red writing on the lantern? Hey, Gramps, didn't you know? That's the reason why I don't drink red tea. Doesn't make any sense. That makes no sense, Godot. I wasn't sure about it until now. Yes, we were. I just can't believe it. Prosecutor, that's different. He cannot believe him doing it. Like, it's just disbelief. But we already knew. Prosecutor Godot is a murderer. But there's no going back now. Like the second prosecutor I've gotten committed for murder. I finally figured out the truth. Everyone shut up! I'm slamming my desk. Mr. Godot, the defense at this time formally accuses you. You are the murderer of Elise Donham, also known as Misty Faye. It's hard to believe this may be true. However, once again, Mr. Wright has brought up a disquieting fact about you. Ha! Just make sure you don't fill out the indictment in red ink, Gramps. Come on. How does a little graffiti make me into the killer? Besides, it's not like my name. This is my name that's written on there. I'm certain that the killer wasn't able to see the color red. This is rich. Go on, but do go on, Tribe. The answer is right there on the crime scene. At the crime scene. In the snow. The snow? How so? Well, for example, why did the killer move all the snow? Your Honor, you said it yourself. If he wanted to hide the bloody snow, why not take just that area? Take out just that area. Yes, why didn't he just take out that area? Ah, could it be? Yeah, the killer couldn't see the red blood that had seeped into the snow. And so, he had to remove all of the snow. He couldn't be sure of where the blood had landed, so he removed the whole area. I mean, I'm pretty sure even without seeing red, you would still be able to see where blood had seeped into the snow due to it like melting around the snow. It'd be like just shapes in the snow, right? Objection! Isn't it more likely that the killer couldn't see the blood because it was dark? Not a chance. The torches were all lit. He would have been able to see just fine. It seems that once again this trial has taken an unexpected turn, to say the least. Can you explain this, Mr. Godot? Hold it. But wait a minute! Just wait a minute! Maya, you didn't have a voice! Come on, you voiced the screaming spirit, which was a nice touch. But, like, you're not gonna give Maya a hold it? You could've just, like, high-pitched Mia's hold it. What is it, witness? Mr. Godot isn't the killer! After all, he didn't even come to the inner temple until 2 days after the murder took place. He didn't show up until after the old bridge got fixed up. Objection. Puffy lips and puffy cheeks, really. Maya, you can't testify to something like that. Why? Why do you mean? What do you mean? I'm out looking, but I'm... Eek! After the murder had happened, you didn't even exist. She didn't? I'm afraid I don't follow. Are you senile, old man? We just established this a little while ago. After the murder, this witness was unconscious for a long time. Because she was channeling Dahlia the Hawthorne. Oh, that's right. Please, Your Honor, let me add to my testimony. Nick, please listen to me. No, you liar, Maya. You filthy liar. Do you plan to cover up for Godot no matter what the cost? If that's the case, then I've got no choice. You're fired. Your Honor, let's hear her testimony. If it means we're going to hear the whole truth, I say we should not silence her. Ah, nicely done, Trud. Very well, let's hear the witness's testimony. Please tell us what happened at the inner temple after the murder. Yes, sir. After I woke up, I began channeling and my spirit left me, as it were. But a little Pearly was there at the inner temple, too. Pearly was also stuck on the inner temple side that night. The next morning, she looked around but couldn't find anyone. The next day, when the bridge was finally fixed, she was in the spirit prep room. That's when Mr. Godot arrived at the inner temple for the first time. He found Pearly first and then cheered her up. Who is this Pearly?
I'm a little cousin. She was standing there as a grown woman half naked earlier.
So when did you hear about this?
Just a while ago, when I was in the medical office.
I'm terribly sorry. But what you heard from someone else is simply not admissible as testimony.
What? Come on. Pearly would never lie, tell a lie. That's bullshit. She is your whole bloodline are liars, except for Mia. She's probably lied to me too. Why would you lie to me like that, Mia? She's way more honest person than she's a way more honest person than I'll ever be.
That's true. Real smart, Maya. You always know the best thing to say when you're under oath.
The prosecution has no objection. We'll believe the witness.
Mr. Godot.
Let's just move on to the cross-examination, if the defense has no objections.
This is highly unusual, but so are all the cases here. Well, Mr. Wright, let's get this cross-examination started. Also, wasn't Pearl Mia while you were in the medical office? Oh, I guess when we came in here to finish up with Iris, you might have got dragged back in. Yeah, yeah. So where did you think Pearl slept that night?
In the spirit prep room next to the training hall, I guess. There's a rule that you can't enter the training hall during an acolyte's training.
But even so, why did she go to the inner temple in the first place? It seems that Pearls became very worried about Maya.
She knew that the spiritual training I was about to undergo was very intense.
Pearls was supposed to channel Dahlia Hawthorne, but she couldn't do it. That's why she headed to the inner temple. However, Dahlia Hawthorne was already there, possessing the body of Elise Donham.
Good morning!
She searched the entire inner temple side, end to end.
Well, you see, Pearly gets pretty scared when she's alone. Some of voices telling her what to do. I don't really get it, but anyways, there weren't many places to look. She says that that she even went back and forth several times.
The inner temple side has two structures, the training hall and the spirit prep room.
And there's also a storage shack, I think. That's about it.
There's a storage shack too? Pearls was looking for other people, right? But she had really examined a storage shack all that carefully.
Well, if it was me, that would be the first place I would investigate.
So that means it's possible that someone may have been hiding in the storage shack. Pearls didn't hear the sound of them working on the bridge.
What do you mean?
I was just wondering why she would stay in the prep room. If it was me, I'd at least go out and wait for her at the foot of the bridge.
Oh, well, Pearly said she was sleeping at the time. She said she was so scared during the night that she couldn't sleep well and woke up a bunch of times.
Poor little girl, all alone like that.
Well, we know that she had at least one friend in the sacred cavern, Dahlia Hawthorne, who was busy battling with the trick lock.
She couldn't let anyone see her, so she wouldn't have shown herself to Pearls.
What happened after the bridge was finally fixed?
So it was your first time in the inner temple side. So it was your first time at the inner temple side, Mr. Godot.
Huh? Well, that's funny. Am I imagining things, or did the defense ask me a question?
Mr. Wright, please save questionings for the witness. What you heard from someone else is simply not admissible in testimony. Those are your words, Your Honor. Touché, Mr. Wright. Oh, well. What do you have to say, Mr. Godot?
Hot nights and even hotter coffee. That's what I always say. If it hadn't been for this case, I would never have visited there. A freezing cold temple in the mountains? I think I'll pass.
So he had never visited Hazakura Temple, the inner temple, huh?
Ha! You want me to say something, Trent?
In any case, I have to find a crack into Godot's armor. Like a plot armor. Well, I'm cross-examining Maya, that is. Very well, please go on with your testimony. After fixing the bridge, the policeman came over to the inner temple side, right?
Yeah, then Mr. Godot.
He cheered her up?
That's what Pearly said. She said he was a very nice older gentleman. Thank you for looking after my cousin, Mr. Godot.
Then here I was thinking you were nothing more than his coffee addict.
Huh. Cut it out. You're making me blush.
I can't see that, though. This guy's really beginning to get on my nerves in more ways than one.
The truth is that there aren't many places to look on the inner temple side. The policemen were all busy going over the garden with fine-tooth combs. So I decided to carry on an investigation in my own way. Godot style.
And I'm the same way. I like to hand down verdicts in my own way, judge style. Huh, maybe I should ask some questions. Phoenix style. Cheering Pearls up. So you cheered up Pearls.
When I found the little girl, the first thing she asked was about her cousin, Ma Fei.
Really?
The bridge had burned down and she was huddled up in the tiny shack with no heat. Even though she must have been truly terrified out there, she asked about you before she had said a thing about herself.
Pearly,
I noticed that you weren't anywhere in the temple side, but I couldn't find it in me to tell her that, so I gave her my last cup. With milk and sugar, to hide the bitterness of the harsh truth.
What a sweet story, kind of. You got a thermos of coffee? Why doesn't that surprise me? There's only one thing of any importance here. Where was Godot when the murder was taking place? He must have already been at the Inner Temple when it happened. Otherwise, he couldn't have killed Elise Donum. Alright, so we need to go back here, and we'll ask about the investigation. Phoenix style, Godot. You said you conducted your own investigation on your own. Did you find anything?
It looks like my investigation went about as well as yours tried. After all, I did miss the bloody writing on the lantern.
Well, I didn't miss it, so to speak. So speak for yourself, Goggles.
The only odd thing I discovered was the beauty in the training hall.
Beauty?
Mr. Fei, naturally. Clad in a stunning Japanese garb surrounded by a hue and aroma of Western tastes.
Western tastes? Can you find a stranger way to describe gravy? So... So from there, you headed to the prep room. Wait a second. What did Godot just say? I think I just found his proverbial weak spot. There's only one thing of any importance here. Okay. Something about gravy? Do you want me to... Do you want me to... Do you want me to present this here? I don't know how it would be contradiction. Because it was, yeah. I mean, I have health, so I can try it, right? This evidence clear. No, okay. Oh, there goes 2 of my health. Huh. Yeah. What am I missing? You know what? I'll just go through the press again. So it definitely has something to do with the scroll. I'm just not exactly sure. Here? For the first time. So that means you would have seen it without the gravy on it, right? Music stop, baby. Mr. Godot, the first time you crossed Dusty Bridge and went to the Inner Temple was long before the murder took place.
Why do you say that?
Because you just made one fatal slip-up. The hanging scroll in the training hall. Hanging scroll?
But Mr. Godot was right. That scroll shows a picture of my mother.
Maya, I know you know who it is, but there's something you didn't know. By the time the bridge had been repaired, 2 days after the murder, the hanging scroll in the training hall looked like this. What a wonderfully delicious smell. The morning after the crime, someone covered it with gravy.
Gravy? But why gravy, Nick?
Because gravy was much more than a condiment to the culprit. Well, Mr. Godot, if you really hadn't seen this hanging scroll until after the murder, you wouldn't have had any way of knowing that it was Misty Fey, aside from the master symbol.
Wait Wait a minute, Nick.
Yes?
Take another look at the hanging scroll. Look, at the top. There's a crest there.
It's the mark of the master, correct?
Exactly. And if you know the meaning of that mark,
Then you could guess that the picture is of Misty Faye on it. Or, it was a picture of Misty Faye on it. True, but Miss Godot described what was underneath this. Clad in her stunning Japanese garb, surrounded by the hue and aroma of Western taste.
oh, shit.
Yeah, it's possible that he knew what the crest meant. However, he couldn't have known that she was wearing Japanese clothes. Mr. Godot, on the day of the murder, you were hiding in the inner temple long before the crime took place.
Can I ask you just one little thing, Trot?
What is it?
This whole theory of yours, it all rests on a certain assumption. That I knew beforehand that the crime was going to be committed. That's right! Otherwise, there's no reason for him to sneak into the crime scene.
Of course Mr. Godot knew about the plan.
Huh?
What did you say? Open ones before. I kind of thought this was going to be Missy that opened it. Was it Godot? This crime was actually planned over a year ago. Morgan Fay authored the plan for her daughter's future, and these instructions were hidden somewhere in Fay Manor for a year. However, by the time Little Pearls found these instructions, they had already been unsealed. Unsealed? Yes. The killer had read these instructions long before Pearls ever found them. That's how he knew the crime was to take place in the inner temple.
And you still insist this crafted killer isn't me?
You bet I do.
But you just said that the instructions were hidden. That's right! Mr. Go couldn't have known where the instructions were hidden.
If you really wanted to know, he had one great chance to find out. Yes, and when was that? During a visit.
A visit?
Morgan Fay told her daughter Pearl about where the instructions were hidden. During one of her visits to the detention center. That would be the only time for someone to have learned where they were hidden. Eavesdropping on a visit at the detention center. Yes, it could be arranged if you were someone with easy access in and out of there. It's happened to us before. Like, for example, a prosecutor such as Mr. Godot. Order! Mr. Godot, you're under fire now! Again. This murder could have not been carried out without prior knowledge, and you were the only one that could have acquired this information before the murder.
Humans are afraid of the dark. Well, and yet, at the same time, we're fascinated and bewitched by it. Maybe that's why humans drink the darkness that is coffee.
Sorry for always asking, but what does that mean?
It means that there's a reason for everything. According to your theory, the killer in this case eavesdropped on a conversation during a jail visit where he learned of a hidden plan for a crime. After discovering the plans, he hid in the inner temple and waited for a crime to occur. Then he ultimately took a person's life. And he did all of that just to protect this witness?
That's right.
If you're accusing me of this crime, I have to ask you, why would I do this? This girl's nothing but a stranger to me. I got no reason to go through that kind of trouble to protect her.
You do, though.
I'm what you see. I'm certainly not the type to rescue a damsel in distress.
The killer's behavior is certainly extreme, for the lack of a better word. Even considering that the killer wanted to protect this witness's life, his behavior is still a little too unnatural. However, you had a good reason, didn't you, Mr. Godot? An unshakable reason that forced you to protect this witness at all cost.
I knew it. You figured it out, haven't you, Nick?
Maya, you filthy liar, you're fired. I guess you were doing your best to cover for Godot. For the same reason, huh?
Okay, Trot, I'm all ears. Let's hear it.
It's very simple. Maya Fey is a lot more than just a stranger to you. What's this? There's one person who lies at the very center of this whole story. One person that ties you and Maya together inextricably. That is Mia. There's a very good reason why Mia Fey's life is so precious to you. After all, she's Mia Fey's only sister.
Mia Fey.
You once worked alongside her. That's when you were a defense attorney.
Wait a second here. Mr. Godot is a defense attorney?
With your honor's piercing intellect, you must have figured it out by now. The real name of this man who calls himself Godot, his real name is Diego Armando. Isn't that right?
The last time someone called me by that name was over 6 years ago.
Diego Armando. The name rings a bell. It should, Your Honor. All this is related to a single case. A case in which a convict named Terry Falls killed himself. Mia Fey's first time in court, the tragic outcome left to a deep wound in her heart. She knew that behind it all was a heartless, scheming demoness in disguise. But in the end, Mia couldn't tear off that disguise. However, there was one man who reached out to help her. Diego, a senior defense attorney at the office where Mia worked.
It's my fault. It's not my fault that Falls killed himself. Mia, you can't cry yet. Now you can cry, because I have done fucked up my hand. The only time a lawyer can cry is when it's all over. I was moved by her. The way she put all her faith in her clients, that pure sweetheart of hers. That's why I could never forgive Dahlia Hawthorne. Me and I thoroughly investigated that fake kidnapping incident. Then one fateful day, Dahlia wanted to meet with me. It had been 6 months at that trial. We met in the courthouse cafeteria.
Ah, I just remembered. 6 years ago, right here in the courthouse, you were poisoned.
Even I didn't see it coming. Really should have, seeing how that's how Terry Falls died. Dahlia Hawthorne slipped some poison into my coffee.
Some newspapers at the time called it a murder, but very little information about the case was released to the press. But you weren't dead at all.
No official reports ever actually called it a murder. I was just in a deep, deep coma.
I see.
My body shut down and my life became nothing but long, deep sleep. That woman's poison did a real number on my central nervous system. I lost my sight, and all my hair turned white due to the damage it caused.
That's terrible! I mean, it looks good.
Apparently, it was a miracle that I even regained consciousness. 5 years had passed since I drank that poison brew. Then one morning, my eyes flew open from the smell of a doctor's cup of coffee.
5 years? You were asleep for 5 years. Dude, for someone who was asleep in a coma for 5 years, you look fantastic. Because your body probably be pretty fucked up after being in a coma for 5 years. The muscles just, yeah, I mean, you'd be in rehab for a long time, dog. I'm assuming you woke up at least 2 years ago, right? Is that when she died? So, I guess 2 years of rehab and a good diet might have fixed your body, but still.
And the worst possible news was waiting for me. Mia Fey was dead. From the very moment I opened my eyes, I had already lost everything I thought I had. The woman I loved had been murdered, and the woman I loathed had been sentenced to death.
The woman you loathed?
The one who spiked my scalding hot coffee, Dahlia Hawthorne. Ha! Good old Mia. She didn't let me down. She got her revenge before she checked out.
In the end, she got her revenge way before she checked out.
There wasn't anyone waiting for me when I woke up.
That's so sad.
For someone like me, or someone who had slept away their best days, there was only 2 reasons left to live, and it was for those 2 reasons that I decided to become a prosecutor.
I may ask, what were your 2 reasons to live?
First one was you, Trat.
Huh? Me? Oh, man, I'm flattered, but you're not my type.
If I hadn't drank that stupid poison, Mia Fey would never have died, much less the way she did. You were the only one who was there to protect her, but you let her die. It was all your fault. I mean, I don't really know all the details apparently, because you weren't actually there. But I guess because you're a guy? Is that where you're going with this? Because you're a guy,
You should have protected her at all times.
I think that's where you're going with this.
It wasn't like that. I wanted to see for myself what kind of man you really were. So that's why you became a prosecutor.
Did you think we were dating? Because, like, I thought that's where that was going to lead to, and I was all for it, but then she died in, like, the third episode, so I was like, shit, all right. And then we got her little sister. I was like, she's a little too young, but sure.
So that's why you became a prosecutor.
Ma, the reason for living. She goes by the name of Ma Fei. Huh? You mean me?
You were the only way I could make up for the sin of not serving Mia. 1 year ago, when the Korean village incident was resolved, it was obvious that Morgan Fei was planning something. Whatever the evil plan was, I was determined to stop it. My role as a prosecutor put me in the perfect position to do something about her.
I mean, you could have, like, kind of paid off a guard to kill her in her cell, man.
That's how you overheard of Pearl's visit with Morgan at the detention center? I knew that time was drawing near. Since I knew the plan, I thought I could foil it. My goal was to outwit the plan. I thought if I could do that, I could keep that girl from being caught up in it.
That makes sense.
If Pearls had known that the actual purpose of the plan was to kill Maya, she never would have helped out.
Yeah, that's true.
Maybe we should actually try to teach Pearls better.
Finally, the day of the plan was drawing near. Or maybe tell her about how horrible her mother is so she never listens to her again. Like, maybe tell her that this is all her mother's fault again, so she doesn't listen to her in the future. Hopefully, Morgan's swinging as we speak, but you never know. I contacted both of my accomplices. Iris of Hazakura Temple and Mr. Fei. I especially needed the help of Iris. She was the take the fall in my backup plan in case we couldn't control Pearl Fei. But how did you contact my mother? She had been missing for almost 20 years.
Officially, yes.
What? What do you mean, officially?
You heard about it, haven't you? About the strong ties between the main family and the government?
Now that you mention it, Bikini did say something to that effect. She said that the Master of the Korean had great authority.
Even without her official position, Mr. Fei still wielded great influence. The police had been keeping an eye on her movements all this time. That's how I was able to contact her. Again, because of my position as a prosecutor.
So my mother was cooperating with you.
Okay, so it wasn't a coincidence?
I was gonna say, man, that's a fucking horrible coincidence for Misty Fei. I mean, she abandoned her family, but at the same time, like, man, you show up just for a visit and you get killed because you almost killed your daughter?
Don't ever forget, no matter how far away she was, she never stopped thinking about you.
I mean, that really doesn't make up for the 17 years.
That's why I knew she would do anything to protect you. If you want to know how strong her resolve to protect you was, look at her staff.
Staff? The one with the sword in it?
The day the plan was to be carried out arrived soon enough. We met for the first time at Hazakura Temple. That's when your mother showed me the special staff. I realized it then, just how far she was willing to go. She was ready to use that sword to protect you from Morgan Fei if necessary. Yes, even if it meant paying the ultimate price. That night, the night of the crime, there was just one way to stop Morgan's plan.
You're right, there was just one way to stop this plan. And that is tell us. So we confronted Pearl about it and be like, hey, we need to talk to you about your mother. And then it wouldn't have happened. And then we could go see Morgan and take that sword and stab her while she was behind bars. Chronos, that's dark. No, it's stabbing. It's way different.
And you could have just went like, hey, we found this fucking plan. And we could have resolved it. And maybe Misty could have reunited with her daughter, her one living daughter, and maybe tried to make up for the 17 years she was gone.
You mean Pearls, don't you?
We had to make sure she didn't channel Dahlia Hawthorne. Well, Pearl, what are you going to do tonight?
Well,
if you'd like, you can come to my room. Perhaps you can read some books together.
We thought we could prevent her from playing her part in Morgan's role, but she never showed up. That's what you tell the grown-ups that are in charge of Pearl. And then we confront her about it. She was worried and followed me into the inner temple. That was the thing we were most afraid of. And that's why Mr. Faye had to do the channeling herself. She channeled Nadia Hawthorne into her own body.
What do you mean?
If she channeled the spirit first, then Pearls wouldn't be able to do it herself. As Master of the Crane, Misty Faye's powers were supreme. So that's how it went down. She channeled Dahlia Hawthorne so that Pearl's Faye wouldn't be able to.
What? Is this true?
My role in the plan was to make sure no one was going to hurt Maya Faye. That's why I hid myself in the inner temple, just in case you need to be safe from Dahlia Hawthorne.
Godot.
Anyway, that's all I'm gonna admit to, Trat.
Huh?
There's no doubt about it. You're a great defense attorney.
I know, I'm pretty awesome.
But you're going to have to do the rest yourself.
The background leading up to the incident has been laid out, or laid bare. There's just one question remaining, Mr. Wright. Who killed the victim? There are only two possible suspects right now. Maya Faye, and I'm sad to say you, Mr. Godot.
Well, Trat, if you're the real deal, then finish this thing off once and for all. Show us beyond a shadow of doubt that you can finish this on your own. No, Nick! Please don't!
Maya.
I heard the whole thing from my sister in the medical office. That's why I have to protect Mr. Godot. I can't do it. I can't testify against him. After all, he's the man who put his life on the line to protect Mia. And me too. When did he put his life on the line for Mia? The Dahlia thing? Nah, he was just he was just poisoned for Dahlia. Yeah, what? But yeah, I guess I know that. Nick!
But even so, it doesn't absolve him of his crimes. Please, Maya, testify. Or you're fired for good this time. Ms. Faye, your testimony, please.
We're gonna do another testimony? Oh, come on now. The final testimony? Some of you are probably wondering why I haven't ended the episode yet, because normally I try to end around 30 minutes, because I'm really trying to get this case done and the credits rolling on episode 69, because I'm actually a child, and because I know it's near the end. This is the final testimony. Don't bother trying to hide anything, because I know. I want to hear the truth from your own lips. Dots, I understand. I'm sure you're right. I'm ready now, Nick.
All right, young lady.
Tell us about the moments before you lost. No, we're still going. I'm not sure how big this testimony is going to be or how much there's left. We're going. We're going until the credits go. What exactly happened at the end of this murder? We're doing it live, baby.
We're actually not live, but with live recording. I'm live right now. We're not live like on Twitch. We're going until credits roll, baby.
Just before it happened, I think I saw red lights, 3 of them. I thought I'd ask for help, but just then I was splattered with blood. She wasn't dead though, and she struck back at the enemy behind her. Suddenly, the red light went out and the whole area was dark. Just at the moment, there was a horrible scream. Right after that, Dahlia collapsed and I lost consciousness.
Okay, these red lights. I thought you said you don't remember seeing them.
I'm sorry. Thought I saw them, but then they disappeared all of a sudden. Things break, right? Even the best of theories. Who was it that stabbed Mr. Faye? It looks like you still can't prove it.
Maya's telling the truth this time. I know it. The rest is up to me. Well then, Mr. Wright, proceed with your final cross-examination of the witness. Time of the murder. Press.
I mean, we're still pressing everything. I'm gonna take a quick sip of my water because my throat is parched. Light shining in the dark. I don't think you could make a mistake like that. Yeah, you're right. I think I saw them, but I can't say for certain. And I can't tell you for sure they were from Godot's mask either.
I don't get the feeling she's covering from anymore, but... Press harder? But just after that, you turned towards the lights and called for help. Isn't that because you thought the lights were coming from Mr. Godot's mask?
Yeah, I guess so. Maybe that's what I was thinking at the time. But I can't remember. After all, there was a person I couldn't identify in front of me.
Maya's life was in terrible danger at the time. There's no way she could remember the details of a scene perfectly. What did you do when you saw the red lights? That blood, it was Dahlia Hawthorne's blood. No, actually, technically it was Misty's blood.
I think so, probably. Just at the moment, I heard a soft scream that seemed to be close by. It was that woman's voice.
So that's when the killer stabbed the victim from behind with the murder weapon. Is that right? Without a doubt, Maya was in the middle of a really dangerous situation. Anyway, the victim was stabbed by the murder weapon. What happened after that? Struck back? What do you mean?
Well, you're right. I didn't see it exactly, but I could tell by the sound of their breathing and movement. And also the smell of blood. It was delicious.
Oh no. The Fade bloodline showing! You must have wished it more hard than any young girl should have to have in her one life.
I mean, you're not wrong. This is what, our third or fourth time being accused of murder on trial?
So then, what did you do at this point?
I couldn't move. I could just barely make out their shadow moving in the dark, but I had no idea what to do.
Could you still see the red lights you mentioned earlier?
Yeah, I think so, but...
They went out?
Yeah, suddenly I couldn't see them anymore.
What does it mean? The red lights were coming from Godot's mask, and they went out right in the middle of a fight.
Maybe the mask was damaged.
Or maybe it was knocked off? Or maybe the batteries ran out. Rat rat? Maybe those little red pinhead-looking lights just stopped working. What could have really happened to them? I don't know, you fell over, right? She struck back? It was like face planted into the snow? What do you mean by just at that moment? Do you mean the moment when the red light went out?
Yeah, that's right.
The scream that you heard then, was it Dahlia Hawthorne?
I don't think so. I'm pretty sure it was my man's voice.
Whoa. What? So then, that scream came from the killer. That's gotta be it.
I think Dahlia Hawthorne must have had taken the blade and attacked the killer with it.
And then the killer let out a scream of pain, huh?
After that, killer stole the blade back and delivered the final blow, I guess.
Well, Mr. Wright, it seems to make sense to me. It sounds like a reasonable deduction, but I still kind of wonder. There's a contradiction? There is a contradiction. So if we're assuming Godot was stabbed or injured at some point, it would have been for this dagger, yes? So there's a contradiction. Sorry to say this, but there is an interpretation. That interpretation would create an enormous contradiction. That makes sense. After all, my deductions are almost certainly never correct. Remember the testimony she just gave before the killer let out a scream? Maya said that she had already been splattered by the victim's blood. In other words, the blade and the stab had already been plunged into the victim.
Huh? Is that right?
She couldn't have struck back with a sword that was already stuck in her body. The weapon that caused the killer to let out a scream must have been something other than the stab. If you're so sure about that, then don't keep us waiting any longer, Shrat. There's only one thing I can think of that could have been used as the weapon here. If Dahlia Hawthorne had already been stabbed in the back by the stab, what could have she... You know what? Well, look, I'm just saying, hypothetically, if I was Dahlia Hawthorne and I came back to kill Maya, if I had a sword sticking through my stomach from my back, I'd probably just run up to Maya and give her a hug, right? Because that would cause the sword to go through her as well. Yeah? But I'm not Dahlia, and Dahlia's dead. And not coming back, I'm assuming. But it's the dagger. Naturally, the dagger the killer brought to the scene of the crime. Oh, that's right, I forgot about that. This dagger was found at the crime scene, stuck into a pine tree. Yeah, the detective found this morning and brought it to me. Dahlia Hawthorne struck back at the killer with this, and she managed to wound him as well. Just because he let out a scream doesn't mean that he was wounded. For all we know, the blood on the dagger could have been the victim's. Objection. Have you forgotten that the blood had already been tested? Since we learned it wasn't the victim's blood, it must have been the killer's blood. The killer must have had a wound somewhere on his body. So you're saying the blood on this dagger belongs to the killer? Exactly. A DNA analysis of the blood would prove it beyond a shadow of a doubt. And yes, Mr. Godot, I would prove that it's your blood. Nice theory, Trat. But my blood is actually coffee. Where do you think I get all this? Is this the end? Have I done it? Even he won't be able to change the results of a scientific test, unless he pays off the specialist. Huh. Let me ask you something, Trat. Let's just say that it turned out that I was the killer. Do you really think I would be stupid enough to leave evidence like that? Yes. Just think for a second. This dagger was found this morning by a detective and brought to me. There's already blood on it, correct? But even so, I was the one who brought this dagger here to the courtroom. Yes. What does that prove? Well, if I really were the killer, I could have washed the blade off and then planted another person's blood on it. That's actually very accurate. In any case, there's one thing I can guarantee, Trat. That blood, it doesn't belong to me. Not a chance. What? In any event, it seems that you established the killer was wounded. All right then, witness, continue your testimony. Hold it.
Wait a minute.
What's the problem?
I know I probably shouldn't say this, but there's a big contradiction in Nick's explanation.
And Maya?
This dagger, you said that it wounded the killer.
That's right.
But, if Mr. Godot had really been cut with the dagger, his clothes would be bloody or have a rip in them.
He has more than one set of... Dog, you have more than one set of clothes, right? Like, I know I dress the same, too, but I buy multiple pairs of shit. I'm assuming you just have multiple green shirts. I have a vest that looks exactly like that. So, you probably have multiple of those. I only have one, though, because I only used to go to the club once a week. That was a long time ago, when I was young and full of energy to deal with other people. That's long gone. Dots. Maya. Maybe he just changed his clothes. That solved the contradiction pretty easy.
What are you talking about? It's not that simple at all. Remember back to the day of the murder. Everyone that was on the inner temple side got trapped there.
Ah, that's right. And once the bridge was fixed, the police headed for the inner temple.
Mr. Godot was already there waiting for them. He never had a chance to change his clothes. I mean, he could have brought extra clothes.
He could have just brought extra clothes. Order in the court. What the witness says is true. Objection. No, it's not. Well, maybe he brought a change of clothes with him. But no one could have predicted the lightning strike that shut down the bridge. Why would anyone have brought the change of clothes? Slumber party? If I slept over someone's house or in the woods, I'd bring a change of clothes. I don't want to feel icky. Wearing the same clothes after not showering, gonna feel icky. To be fair, wearing new clothes without showering, still gonna feel icky. A little less icky, though. Did the judges take smart pills during the last recess? Maybe. Well then, maybe the killer took his clothes off before he committed the murder. That's why he wouldn't get the way he couldn't get any blood on him. That's impossible, Trat. You know how cold it gets up there that night. I should know. I was walking around naked up there. After a few minutes with no clothes on, you'd be frozen solid. Like 20 minutes. That's enough time to murder someone. Ha. So that's all you've got? I knew you weren't tough enough to finish this. Irk. Right now, if Mia Fey were here, she would have closed the book on this case already. No, maybe not. Mia Fey were here. So come on, Trat. Can you do it or not? how about it, Mr. Wright? You've accused Mr. Go of being the killer, but can you prove it? Have you got even one piece of evidence? Yeah, hey, Godot! Take off your clothes. Take off your clothes. I want to see if you have any wounds on you. Take off your clothes. I'm not coming on to you, I swear. Just take them off. Just go on. I'll give you a cup of coffee. It'll be fun. If the fact is, I have to prove it. That's the only choice I have. I was taught that it's one of the rules of being a lawyer. That and no crying! I can prove it. I'm going to bring your magnificent vengeance to fruition, just as you want. Ha! That's good. I'll fight it to the bitter end, try it. Since there's just one piece of evidence that can prove your point, why don't you go for the unlimited penalty? Yeah, sure. Unlimited penalty. Let's do that. Are you trying to pressure me, Mr. Godot? Because it doesn't matter to me. I've got the one piece of evidence I need. Give me a break. You've got nothing. Take off your clothes! So what do I do at a time like this? Simple. I gotta think outside the box and approach from a different angle. Alright, Mr. Wright. Let's hear what you've got. There's one thing I've demonstrated in previous cross-examination. The killer was wounded. That was proven by the blood on the dagger. But you decided it's impossible for him to have hidden such a wound. If he had been cut by a dagger, there should still be bloodstains on his clothes. There's one place the killer could have hidden his wound. And what did you say? Hidden? Is it in the butt crack? This is it. My last stand. I need to think about this from a different angle. A Kurt angle. I don't need to think about it. I don't need to think about why there was no bloodstains on his clothes. I need to show he hid the wound. How he hid the wound. Well, shit, man, I don't know! Take off your clothes! It's the end of the line, Trite. The final stop, Trite. Let's hear what you've got to say. Yeah, I'm gonna say it one more time, though, just in case. Where's the location? Oh, motherfucker! Look, just take off your clothes! Just take off your clothes! Huh. I don't know what you're talking about. And frankly, I don't need to know. What I do know is that you'll never be half the lowest she was. Isn't that right, Trite? What was that just now? Mia? Why am I talking in Godot's mind? It can't be. You're living on through him? Even as we speak, you're still hiding the wound. Oh god, was that right? Oh, thank god. Now take off your clothes! It's beneath your mask. You get stabbed in the face? Oh, gee. Okay, the red light did go out. Okay. You can still take off your clothes, though, just to prove it. During the fight, the red lights given off by the killer suddenly disappeared. Seconds later, the killer let out a scream. That's right, your mask went flying off your face. Mr. Godot, would you mind removing your mask? If you have a dagger wound under there somewhere, then I'd say this whole case is solved. Ah, shit! My mask blew up! No, that had nothing to do with the case! Someone called 911! My face! Just now, I saw her spirit in you. I never liked you. Oh, really? Couldn't tell. 6 years ago. You have the woman who put me to sleep by hiding her bottle of poison. And then, while I was sleeping, I guess that one makes sense. You let Mia die. I didn't let her die. She was murdered. I was, like, nowhere near there. But you didn't care. You just kept living your pathetic, happy-go-lucky life. Well, I was pretty sad about it. I freaking kept looking after her sister and protected her. You even had the nerve to follow in her footsteps. I was her apprentice. I could never forgive you. That's what I thought. Mr. Godot,
But I was wrong about you. Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's clearly true. Because everything, because everything you said doesn't really make sense. But I was wrong about you. I knew it from the very beginning. The truth is, the only person I could never find in my heart to forgive was me. You yourself. I was the one that failed to protect Mia. Me and no one else. I tried to avert my eyes from the truth to escape from the harshness of reality. I just couldn't face Mia's death head on, so I ran. I hid behind a mask. I threw away my true name. I thought you wore the mask because you couldn't see. I couldn't even deal with being a defensive attorney anymore, so I quit.
But you saved Maya!
Yeah, that was my plan. Up until just now, anyway.
What do you mean?
Are you listening, Maya? If I had really wanted to save you, then there's one person that I should have gone and talked to right away.
Who would that be? Anyone! Are you talking about Nick?
But I didn't do that. I tried to get the help of Iris and your mother, but I closed my eyes to the most important man involved. You know why? The real reason?
No, why?
I suppose I wasn't really interested in saving you at all.
Huh? Well, fuck you too!
I think I was just trying to salvage what's left of my own broken soul. I was trying to make up for the fact that I couldn't save Mia, nothing more. That's why I let you walk right into a situation that I knew was dangerous. Forgive me.
No! You're wrong. You put your life on the line to save Maya, not Mia. You let Mia die, but you did try to save Maya.
Was it really for Maya's sake? Even if I'm not really sure?
What do you mean by that?
That night in the darkness of the garden when I saw her silhouette. Part of me must have known the truth. The truth is that it wasn't really Dahlia Hawthorne standing there in front of me. It could have been Misty Fay, or even that little girl. But I still picked up the blade. It was like I was dreaming. I'm not sure exactly what was going in my mind at that point.
I mean, that's true, too. Could have probably just tackled her on the ground or something. Dahlia's not that big of a person, right? You are. You're kind of jacked. I know you were in, like a coma for 2 years and you're still ripped. But at the same time, you could have overpowered her. She's tiny. She has no muscles.
Was I really motivated by pure desire to protect Ma Fei? Or was it something else?
Look at those arms! Look at those scrawny-ass arms! You could have overpowered her.
Was it my hatred for a woman who had stolen anything, who had stolen everything from me 6 years earlier? Could have been simply a desire for revenge. And now, I don't even know anymore. I did learn something today, however. I finally realized that I can't see the color red. It's kind of a hindrance. Also that I was the arrogant one. I was just chasing an illusion, a fantasy. A stupid fantasy of defeating you in a courtroom.
Yeah, I know. You've done a horrible job at that.
You were the one who made me realize my folly. You've never ran away from Mia's death. Instead, you picked up where she left off, as a true defender of the people. In that one moment, I understood everything.
Mr. Godot.
I think you already know this, but if you don't, my name is Diego Armando.
Mr. Armando, I believe in you. I know you were trying to save me.
Huh. Thanks.
Your wound. It's bleeding. Did you not go to the doctor after you got off the island?
Did you forget something already? In my world, the color red doesn't exist. These must be my tears.
Tears? Thought lawyers weren't supposed to cry.
Ever since I woke up from my coma, I think I've been waiting for this very moment.
Mr. Armando?
You do well to remember this, Maya. The only time a lawyer can cry is when it's all over.
This time, it really is all over, isn't it? Defendant.
Yes, Your Honor.
Although you weren't directly involved in the murder, tampering with the body in the crime scene is a serious offense in itself.
I understand, Your Honor.
Mr. Armando explained.
Mr. Armando explained that I'm very
I thought it was the judge was saying.
I knew the risk and I was willingly cooperated with it.
Very well. Before I hand down my verdict, is there anything you'd like to say?
Well, there is one thing. I'd like to say something right. I want to apologize to you.
Apologize to me? For what?
For the case 5 years ago, of course.
I just remembered. Weren't you poisoned by your own lover? Not exactly, but yeah, something like that. Even now, 5 years later, I can hardly believe it. She was going to do it. She was planning to kill me.
It's not all that surprising. The two of you hardly knew each other.
Huh? What do you mean?
You and my sister, you only met twice.
Huh? We only met twice?
The first time you met was on that fateful day.
So was it all the other times you?
The day she pours with Mr. Armando in the cafeteria on this very courthouse. The next time you met was 8 months later. You met her again on the day she stole your cold medicine. And Doug Swallow was killed.
No way! It can't be true. I mean, during a whole relationship we were...
For those 8 months, the woman that you thought was Dahlia Hawthorne wasn't actually my sister.
It wasn't Dahlia.
I hope one day you can forgive me, Feeny.
You mean?
That's right. I lied to you for 8 months.
I guess that makes a little bit more sense if you dated for that long and she only... Yeah. But why? Why would you do such a thing?
Ever since she gave you that bottle that day, my sister was trying to get it back as soon as she could. Because of the police investigation and surveillance, she couldn't move about freely.
So that's why you...
My sister, from the beginning, she was prepared for the worst.
Prepared for the worst?
She thought that you might somehow discover the truth. That's why she was always ready to deal with you at a moment's notice.
She was ready to kill me, don't you?
She already had so much to answer for. I didn't want any more sins on her soul. I begged her not to do it, and she agreed to give me a chance.
And that's why you came to me? You came to get the bottle, pen it back for me in her place.
But I couldn't get you to give it back. I failed at something even as simple as that. 8 months passed and I still couldn't get it back from you. Finally, my sister couldn't wait any longer. She didn't consult me about a plan for you that day. It was the first time that had ever happened.
That was a bit strange, wasn't it? Up until that day, you two were partners in crime, and she would confer with you.
I think she must have noticed.
Noticed what?
My feelings for you.
Aw.
If I had found out she was planning to kill you, I would have done whatever was necessary to stop her, even if it meant her life. Or mine.
Aris.
To spend those 8 months by your side, my feelings towards you, they changed.
I have something to say to you, too. Please say I hate you. Yes, you really are the person I thought you were. Even after Dahlia Hawthorne was found guilty, I still believed in you.
Thank you.
Alright, so you're going to jail for a while. Godot, you're going to be hanging from a noose. How many cups of darkness have I drank over the years? I don't even know. I mean, I'm going to have myself a cup of darkness after this as well, but it's going to have, like, fake sugar and some cream in it. I tell you, though, right now, this one here is the greatest cup of coffee I've ever had.
Don't you think so, Phoenix Wright?
They animated a cup. Honestly, I probably wouldn't drink that coffee if he gave that to me. Yeah, I think you're right. The purpose of this trial was to rule on the murder of the victim, Miss Donham, Elise Donham. At this point, I expect you to be tried for your roles as an accomplice in this case. At some point.
I understand, Your Honor. Probably won't.
Well, yeah, they might hang you for that. Very well, on the charge of the murder, I hereby find the defendant not guilty.
Maybe like 20 years in jail for accomplice.
Okay, 1 second. I know this is already a long episode, but I'm assuming it's the finale episode. How long can...
I'm just so gonna flag my goddamn...
Can a person get... Oh, how long can a person be sentenced? Yeah, there we go. Be sentenced for being an accomplice for murder Japan. Well, capital punishment showed up. Well, must include accomplice. No, that's actually accomplish, not accomplice. Chronos, you don't need to learn how to spell. I know how to spell. I just had the wrong word. If arrested, no, accomplice. That doesn't really explain to me. Japan Hang 3, that's the one from earlier. Nothing's really showing up. I'm assuming you're gonna get a couple of years. And by a couple of years, I mean probably life in jail. Yeah. Court is adjourned. Well, that sucks. I mean, she brought it on herself by helping. You guys could have came to me and this would never have happened. Missy could still be alive. She owes 17 years of child support to Maya. Well, 16 years, because it only goes to 18. She owed 16 years of child support from Maya. So that could have paid me, like, for all my cases not being paid for. So I guess it's all over. The way everything ended, which is justice really served. A man who risked his life to save Maya is being sent to prison by my own hands.
Of course justice was served.
Mia! Close your shirt up.
I'm proud of you, Phoenix. Your defense was truly brilliant.
But I couldn't save Mr. Armando. We weren't out to save him. A man who cared so deeply for you.
You're wrong, Phoenix. You did save Diego. You saved him in the only way possible.
You mean, with that verdict?
I think one day you'll understand, too. Phoenix, I want you to remember one thing. You were as good out there today as any defense attorney could ever hope to be. There's nothing more you can learn from me.
Mia!
You accomplished something I wasn't able to. I owe you a great deal. Thank you.
Mia, aw.
I'm sure we'll meet again someday, Phoenix.
Well, I hope so. I mean, your sister can channel you from the dead all the time. So we should probably have, like, movie night someday, like once a month? I've handled a lot of cases and seen a lot of things, and along this journey, I've found myself asking just one question. How the hell did it come like this? What does it really mean to defend someone? I suppose today's case produced one possible answer.
Nick!
Maya!
I guess it's just like my sis said.
Mia? What did she say?
That night when I channeled Mia to get her advice on what to do, this is what she wrote back in my notebook. Don't worry, Phoenix will save everyone in the end.
But...
Come on, cut it out with that gloomy face. Can't you see me, sis, and I'm sure Iris too? We owe you for everything.
Yeah, this is true, you do. You also owe me money. Because technically I defended you in the court of law, and you were my client, so you need to pay me. Also, you're fired for lying to me on stand. How can you be so bright and chipper after all that's happened? Probably the drugs. You're brutally attacked, even saw your own mother killed. Well, to be fair, 17 years apart. Ouch! Francisca!
Still as softy as always, Phoenix Wright.
Edgeworth. Excellent work, Wright.
Huh? It's Edgeworth? When do you get back?
Oh, that's right. I guess no one filled her in on that. Edgeworth and Francisca has actually been helping me.
Helping you?
If these two hadn't been here on the first day of the trial, the defense wouldn't have gotten away.
Wow! But where were you, Nick? I heard he fell into a river and caught a nasty cold which forced him to sleep all day. Yes, he laid in bed shivering from his fever with Iris's hood all pulled over his head. Oh, ouch. Talk about embarrassing, Nick. You definitely need more training. Anyway, thank you, Mr. Edgeworth. And you too, Francisca.
I don't suppose... Oh, God. There's room for me in this group hug, is there?
Oh, Larry!
What's with the longer than usual face? I realized something when I was reborn. I realized that Larry was never of any use to anyone, not even once.
That's not true, right, Nick?
What? No, he's right. He's true. It's right. Well, Nick, is it true? I've got a place in this world, right?
Huh?
Oh, no. God, no. Yeah? No, why would we lie to him? I knew it. Everyone would be better off if I were gone for good. No. Yeah? I mean, yeah. Oh, yeah. Those portraits you painted, they were really good. Isn't that right, Edgeworth? What? Me? Why are you making that face, huh, Edgy? Oh, well, yes, indeed. I certainly can't say that they lack resemblance. Do you really mean it? What about you, Francie? Did I draw you well, too? Oh, yes.
My beauty cannot possibly be captured by a mere crayon.
Glare. You use crayon?
Nevertheless, I recognize the effort you put into it, and that's worth something.
So then you'll do it? Like you promised? You're going to model for my next picture book, Francie Whippity Whip Trip?
Don't get carried away.
Well, how about that? I guess painting. It's like cut to the future. For some reason, Lowry and Francisca are married. I guess painting portraits is the only thing I'm good at. The painting of Pearl was pretty darn good too, if you ask me. Huh?
Now that you mention it, I haven't seen her anywhere.
Pearls? Where could she have gone? Normally, I mean, honestly, if Mia got out of her body a second ago, or was she in Maya's body? Mia was in Pearl's body. She would probably be like, she probably getting dressed somewhere. That shit would have fell off of her. Normally she would have been made a beeline for Maya.
Oh, I'll go look for her. I'll be right back. Hey, Pearly!
Just cuts the Pearl like munching on an orphan.
Right. You seem to be uncharacteristically puzzled. I suspect you are wondering how Maya can be so cheerful despite all that has happened.
Yeah!
To be honest, I don't understand it either.
Francisca. Relatable. That's right. She lost her father fairly recently as well.
I think I understand how she feels. Maya's a much wiser person than she appears, and I think she realizes something. Now is exactly the time when she needs to be as strong as she can. What do you mean by now is exactly time? Maya wasn't the only one who was badly wounded by this incident. In fact, there was someone else that was hurt far more deeply than she was.
Her mother? Being impaled?
I believe it was the person that Maya is trying her best not to cry.
Someone who... It's Pearl. Is it Pearl? Because her mother's an asshole? I think I'm starting to understand too.
Yow! Then tell me, Phoenix Wright. Who is Maya being so strong for?
It's Pearl.
Pearl Fay.
The poor kid, after all. The reason that she worked so hard to follow the instructions was because she loved and believed in her mother, which was very dumb after everything her mother's done. But Pearl didn't really know that because she's a child. We should have explained it to her. It's for the good of the Fay clan. I'm sure she believed it in every last word. She thought she was doing it for Maya. That's why she was so happy. Shows how truly devoted she is to Maya.
But it's the cruel irony that it was her exuberance that led to this tragedy. Maya Fay's mother was killed, and Maya herself was put into the deepest peril imaginable.
That's exactly why Maya is putting on a brave face. She's doing it for Pearl's sake, until she can see her smile again.
Oh, hey! So this is where you all were! Wow, looks like we got quite a bunch of today. Oh, God! What was that for, sir? Sorry about that, Scruffy. My whip just seems to have a mind of its own.
What's up, Detective Gumshoe?
Well, you know, isn't that? Anyways, congrats on your win. Let's go tonight, pal. Dinner's on me. My salad just sort of kind of down by a teeny weeny bit, but it's all right. I made reservations at the first-class French restaurant tonight. Yeah, pretty good work, Scruffy. That whip was your reward. Now thank me.
Detective Gumshoe? You said first-class French restaurant? Do you mean... Trade me in! Oh, God. Where else? I knew it. We're doomed. Come on, let's go, everyone! Can't keep Meg win, pal! Hey, you, Crybaby! You're invited, too! Forget about me. Pearl and I will be at the loser shack eating potatoes. You know, Maya's taken an awfully long time to get back. She's still out looking for pearls. Oh, Maya, what's wrong?
Nick, what do I do? Pearlie, I can't find her anywhere.
Huh? How about she just went back home? That's all.
I thought so too, so I called the village. But no one has heard from her. This has never happened before.
So as I figured, she has been badly hurt by this incident. She feels responsible for the tragedy that has befallen you, Maya.
But none of this was her fault.
I mean, it was her mother's fault.
What should I do?
Detective Gumshoe. Yeah, what is it, pal? Could you guys go on ahead? But what about you? Maya and I will... We'll join you guys once we find pearls.
Nick!
Don't worry about us, Detective Gumshoe. We may be a little late, but we'll definitely be there. We have a lot of celebrating tonight, and I wouldn't miss it for the world.
Yeah, but you're like... Aha!
Very well, Phoenix Wright. We'll go on ahead. Don't keep us waiting, Wright. God, you look weird doing that pose. We won't.
But where should we look? Where could Pearlie have gone?
Let's go, Maya. There's only one place I can think of that pearls might have gone. Really? Because I can't think of anything. Is it to the office? Oh, it's here?
Hazakura Temple?
The pearls of this is a very important place. After all, it's where this whole incident started.
What's this? Y'all back again so soon?
Sister Bikini.
Oh, Sister Bikini! I thought you'd be eating mashed potatoes alone tonight. So she's here? Pearlie's here? She's in the training hall. Why don't you hurry along and go see her? Okay! Pearlie's not here!
Ah, Maya! The hanging scroll!
Ah! Someone cleaned it off!
It's gotta be pearls.
Mystic Maya! Pearlie! Why didn't you just leave like that?
Mystic Maya!
Mystic Maya!
I swore that I would never trouble the two of you ever again. Because it's all my fault that Mystic Maya's mother. That's why you came here? It's the least I could do, to pray for your happiness.
You don't have to do that, Pearlie. It wasn't your fault. You didn't do anything wrong. I mean, you could have showed us the letter. Of course, I'm sad that my mother's gone, but she's been gone from my life for 17 years, so it's really not that big of a deal. But how do I say this? I'm still happy.
You don't have to lie just to make me feel better.
No, really. It's true. The only reason I'm still here is all thanks to everyone who was there for me. My sis, my mother, Mr. Armando, Nick, and you. If even one of you weren't there, I'm sure I wouldn't still be alive right now. That's why I have to be strong for the people that were there for me when I needed them. That's all I can really do.
Mystic Maya.
I'm impressed. You truly are the daughter of Mystic Misty. I mean, she didn't actually raise you or anything like that, because you were only 2 when she left. Sister Bikini! Your mother, Mystic Misty, was a strong woman indeed. I want to tell you that what she said to me that night. After dishonoring the good name of Koran, I didn't have the right to face my daughter. But still, Maya's always in my thoughts. It's true, she'll always be with me until the day I die, which is gonna be in like an hour or 2. It's kind of weird how specific she got. Her spirit was with her. That's why your mother was so strong. Even at the end, I'm sure she had no regrets. Or no regrets. One or the other.
She'll always be with me until the day I die, huh? There's a rule or something all masters are to follow, isn't there? They never take the charm off until the day you die? That's the master's talisman! The thing that Misty kept by her heart and would never take off. That wasn't the container that was important. Rather, it was the contents.
That's...
a photo!
Ah! Mother?
It's only natural for living creatures to fight to protect their own lives. But what makes us human is that we fight for others. But who do you fight for? How hard must you fight? That's the true measure of what a human life is worth. That and their money. We defense attorneys are warrior... Chronos. Sorry. We defense attorneys are warriors who are constantly challenged by that question. Oh, that is absolutely fantastic picture. That is just adorable. Even when the battle is over, the bonds that connect us are severed. Oh, and the bonds that... what? Excuse me there. We always return, time and again. Mia, Maya, Pearls, Mr. Armando, and Maya's mother, too. I learned that from all of them. That is such an adorable picture. Well, shall we get going? Everyone's waiting. Ugh. This is the day to remember, a day when a lot of things were finally put to rest. I think we should celebrate what we've overcome today. But I still can't.
Oh, go on, sweetie. You can come back for training any time.
Okay.
Alright, I'm gonna go make a brand new start too. Sister Bikini, I'll be back for more training. I promise. I know, I won't go easy on you just because you're the future master.
I mean, I'm your current master, just that she's the current master now.
I'll make sure to prepare a reservation for 3 when you come back. Wahahaha! Alright, we're gonna have the great feast today, Pearly. You know why? Because training is the battle of endurance.
Okay, Mystic Maya. I'll eat lots and lots of orphans tonight. You know, there's a thing I don't get and probably don't want to, but...
What is, Nick?
Reservations for training is fine and all, but why for 3?
Come on, what do you think? You're one of us, Nick. Next time you can train right alongside us. Huh? I'll be waiting for you. Sister Bikini will take special care of you. That'll be great, Nick.
I don't think you understood what she meant by that, Maya.
We're going to do a special course, naturally.
That's a great idea. After all, Mr. Nick, you'd do anything for Mystic Maya, wouldn't you? Even walk on hot coals, right?
We'll have a nice big meal before we come next time, right, Nick?
You know, I was wondering if I can say this one little thing.
Sure, of course you can.
Oh, I love this part. I can't wait to hear it.
I'm getting goosebumps, too.
You're fired. Well then, here goes nothing. I know it's objection. Yeah, but you're fired. Is that the end? That's the end. All right, we went a little long. Is it words? I really have extra work extra hard now. Master Crane and the office manager for White Go. And I have to be a good big sister to Pearly and Nick. You're not my sister. As long as I'm not locked up or captured or something like that. I know, you do that a lot. I wasn't sure when it was ending, but it felt like it was ending soon, so I was like, okay, we'll try to end it today. But it kept going. But that's fine with that. It was great. He went through the special course all the way to the end. Actually, I heard there's a legendary extra ultra course here too. I think I'll surprise the two of them by making them a secret reservation. Oh man. This is great series. I've been asked if I'm gonna do more of the series for like the 3DS versions. I said this a couple times before. Oh, you cleaned your coat or you got a new coat? Maggie bought me a brand new coat, pal. You're 10 years younger, and I'll never take it off.
Yeah, but somehow you don't just seem the same. I guess the dirty, shabby old overcoat is just more detective-like, sir.
Don't worry about it. In the name of love, a man will soil himself silly. Yeah, sometimes people are into that. Yeah, I'm gonna wait a little longer to see if there's actually gonna be a ports of like the Edgeworth ones or Apollo Justice, was it? I think it was Apollo Justice, the other one. Also, I love Adrian. She's absolutely great. I kind of wish she was my office assistant. She taught you how to use a whip. Never mind. Never mind. Oh man. But no, I just like her expressions and the way she acts. It's absolutely adorable. Oh God. Consulting? Okay, so yeah, it's private eye. Cut it out, please. It's pretty cute, huh? Yeah, I guess. What? You sell... What? That's not okay. That is literally illegal. But yeah, I'll probably wait to see if there's gonna be any ports of the other handheld ones to a more recording-friendly platform, either console or PC. That'd be great. But if they don't, for exterminating Don Tiger, you lent me 500,000? Wait, you lent? Went through compromise, hee. Yeah, but I'm not paying that back. Sorry. You gave me 500,000. That was for the case. But yeah, if we don't hear anything back in terms of like ports for the other ones, then I'll eventually do them. I'll just have to figure out either a 3DS emulator or just use my modified 3DS to stream it to my computer to record from it. And that quality is a lot lower, but you know, the emulator for 3DS apparently is really, really good. I know I put a 3DS game on the community poll. I'll probably try dumping like one of my games over here and maybe even play through like Dragon Ball Fusions again on the emulator to see if it actually like works. Adamada? Okay. Sure. I think I missed that there. Adamada. I have no idea. Maybe even stream. Maybe I could like stream one of the 3DS Pokemon games again through the emulator to see how good the quality is, and then if it's good, then we can do like one of the handheld 3DS ones. I think the Edgeworth ones, or one, I don't know how many are in English, is DS, like original DS, so we know we can get some of that to work. A little glitchy though if you saw the Extra Life stuff with the Pokemon Heart Gold. Oh. Okay, so Phoenix and the girls visited Iris, and Pearl slapped the shit out of Phoenix. Yeah, that's hilarious. Ben Roman? Judge? What? But yeah, no, that's it's just great games. I really hope they port the other ones over for just easier recording, but I'll get to them eventually at some point. If it looks like they're not going to port them over. But yeah, I really, really, really enjoyed the Phoenix Wright games that we played, this trilogy. It was just a great series overall. I hope you guys watched my YouTube series, and I hope it came out good. I know some people have been very complimentary towards it, even with my illiteracy and dyslexia. But at the same time, it's just been great. It's just been a great little series. So yeah, we will get back to Phoenix Wright's universe at some point. Oh God. From a long time on vacation, no one's here to greet me. Oh my God. Yeah, I was kind of surprised you didn't show up at some point, to be honest. That's great. Macadamia nuts. Yeah, go bring them over the edge. Edgeworth, edgy. Rat-tat-tat-tat-tat-tat-tat. Oh my God. Yeah, no, yeah, this is great fun. I'm glad this was recommended to me. I think it was originally started as a Patreon series, right? And yeah, it's just really, really just a great time overall. I checked out some original game like footage for the DS one, and you definitely tell the improvements for the PC port. But still, it's like, I don't know. Oh, that's a good picture. So Larry drew that. That's nice. Franzie's gonna whip someone. Well, you never saw Mia, did you? I guess that was probably a portrait of her somewhere. Or we probably had Pearl or Maya channel her and dress up in her clothes. Bridge to the Turnabout. A lawyer only cries when it's over. Yeah, no, this was great. This is absolutely fantastic. That means there will be a Patreon poll over on patreon.com/chronosplays. So I'll probably post them. Actually, I have an update video going up soon, so there'll be that. So I don't know what's coming after this, but thank you everyone that joined me on this little journey, and I will see you all in the next series. Have a great day. Bye.